What's up guys, welcome back to another Destiny 2 exotic armor review video. Obviously, we are getting a lot of new exotic armor updates. Obviously, in the 1.1 update, we got 6 pieces of gear. In the 1.2.3 update, we're getting 9 pieces of gear that's going to be upgraded for us to use, so we actually can expand what exotics we're using. But I do want to go over one of the exotic Warlock Gauntlets that just got improved. They are the Sunbracers. Let's go over the perks. So it comes with helium spirals, increases the duration of solar grenades, solar melee kills grant unlimited solar grenade energy for a brief time. On how to obtain this exotic, considering it isn't an exotic that's tied to a quest, it's essentially a random drop from either an exotic engram, or you can get it from Zur if he brings it around. I know he's done it a few times now, or you can get it for the faded engram. Essentially, it'll give you an exotic that you don't have, so if you don't have it, then by definition, you will be able to get it from the faded engram, or potentially get it if that's like the last exotic that you need. I do want to go over a summary of the perks. So helium spirals. Obviously, having a grenade that lasts longer is always good for a good number of situations. Obviously, whether you're trying to hold down an area or putting max DPS on a boss, essentially. Plus, after achieving a solar melee hit, you get unlimited grenades for a round. I'm pretty sure it's 5 to 6 seconds. It's basically like having Radiance from Destiny 1 again, right? You like pop your super, you have unlimited grenades, you can one-hit melee and all that great stuff. So there's no other exotic for any of the other classes that can achieve this kind of, like, I would say, grenade use. PvE wise, this exotic is crazy good for PvE activities, man. It is, like, I used it in Heroic Strikes when Solar Surge was on for the week. Being able to hold down an area with 5 to 6 solar grenades can really give your team an advantage when pushing through a strike, or maybe even higher tier activities. Having more abilities in general is a great thing to have, considering you aren't able to use them a lot. Obviously, PvE wise, maybe higher tier activities like the raid, Lunafaction boots are definitely a way to go, but if you're doing like a Nightfall, Heroic Strikes, or public events, this thing can really perform well. PvP wise, I actually don't have any footage of this exotic. And like in the Crucible, it's definitely situational. Like, it's definitely a situational perk. It's a little difficult to activate because you have to get a solar melee kill. Not just a hit, you have to get a kill with it, which means if you melee someone and they don't die from it, then the perk won't proc. So you need to make sure they die from the solar melee to get unlimited grenades. But once you get the grenades, it can be really effective for holding down zones and control. My only problem is that the viability of it, like, you have to get a kill, which means you have to get somebody weak first. So like, maybe you get a kill and, like, you start throwing grenades and you get dropped by somebody from halfway across the map with Graviton Lance, right? So you just completely wasted the perk. I just don't see a lot of viability with it. Even if you do get a melee kill and then you get the grenades to proc and there's nobody around, where are you going to throw the grenades? Like, it makes sense if you're doing like Control or something like that, but for like Clash or other game modes where there's not really an objective, it's kind of hard to use. Finally, my ranking is a 7 out of 10. The reason I gave it a 7 out of 10 versus a lower score, even though it's not good for PvP, PvE wise, it's really, really good, especially if you like using Dawnblade. Like, this exotic is like having multiple grenades, pretty freaking solid, holding down his own. Like, let's say you're doing Eater Worlds, you get a melee on a small goblin and a Minotaur is running towards you. Just throw some grenades on the ground, let him run right through him, boom, he's dead, right? So it kind of makes sense for a crowd control aspect, so that's why I gave it a 7 out of 10. Overall, it's definitely meant for PvE, like, since you can utilize the grenades more against multiple adds versus a few Crucible enemies. Like, the max Crucible enemies is 4 to 6, so versus like 20 adds you could potentially take down. So I would take it into PvE activities, especially if you like using the Dawnblade. Alright guys, that's a 1.2.1 updated review for the Warlock Exotic Gauntlets, the Sunbracers. If you want to know how to support me, there'll be a link below. Say best way to support me. I'll take it to a 4-minute video. If you want to go check that out, that'd be awesome. But if you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, turn that notification bell, next subscribe if you know if I want to drop some new content on the channel, and then comment what y'all want to see below. I'm making content for y'all, so whatever you want to see, I will put it out there. If you're like, David, please talk about Forsaken, I'll be like, I will talk about Forsaken. Like, whatever you want to hear about it, I will, like, give me a subject and I'll do it, obviously. But I definitely want to keep pumping out weapon reviews. There's obviously a lot of good weapons that came into Warmind and faction rallies, and there's some other weapons that I am going to be popping out because I really like them. I remember that I used them at the beginning of the Destiny 2 campaign, and I brought them back, and I'm like, you know what? These weapons are really good. So I will be doing other reviews like that as well. Also, make sure to check out the Discord link below. We have some chats going about Destiny 2 Forsaken, Division 2, Anthem, some upcoming games, and then we also have some voice chat. So if you want to do a Nightfall with me or a raid, or just want to talk to me, get in contact with me, maybe ask me some questions, like anything like that, that's going to be the best way to do that, is to join the Discord. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.